An Israeli attack plan to destroy the last of Hamas. Taking fire from the international community. Now the nation's prime minister is mobilizing troops to evacuate citizens in the area ahead of time. Trump wins the Nevada caucus and Virgin Islands with ease. NTD's Kelly Wright was at the Trump party and learned more about why Latinos supporting the GOP frontrunner for president. How can illegal immigration affect wages in the United States? A new congressional report gives estimates on an increase in population and its effect on salaries. Police in California arrest a man for allegedly stealing a plane and landing on a beach. Chinese imports of renewable energy products is threatening the renewables industry in the European Union. We'll tell you about the problems it's causing. How does mood impact physical health? NTD's Andrew Thomas talked with a psychologist who explains the mind-body connection. And companies are spending millions of dollars on just a 30-second advertisement during the Super Bowl. How do these ads capture our attention? A marketing professor explains. Welcome to NTD Newsroom. I'm Jack Bradley. Israel's leader announcing an evacuation plan for a densely populated city in Gaza. The message follows a wave of international criticism over Israeli intentions to move ground forces into the same city. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is directing the military to evacuate citizens from the city of Rafah on Friday. It's the area of Gaza that borders Egypt. Israel says it's home to the last remaining Hamas terrorist stronghold. The civilian evacuation plan will come before Israel sends troops into the area with the goal of eliminating Hamas. Other nations, including the U.S., are criticizing this strategy. The Israel-Hamas war began October 7th when the Hamas terrorist group attacked Israel and took hundreds of hostages. President Biden is hosting German Chancellor Olaf Scholz at the White House today. The meeting comes at a critical time as a Congress is considering passing an aid package that includes funding for the wars in Ukraine and Israel. Scholz arrived in Washington ready to support a Ukraine win. Germany has been providing continued assistance for Ukraine throughout the war. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters on Thursday that the leaders may also discuss funding for Israel and the recent Houthi terrorist attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. Ukraine's president selects a new army chief as well. He named Colonel General Oleksandr Syrskyi, the former commander of Ukraine's ground forces, who has plans for immediate changes in the country's ongoing war with Russia. Among his goals include better troop rotation and using more high-tech weapons like powerful drones. Syrskyi replaces General Valery Zelensky. An elderly man with poor memory that has significant limitations. These were qualities used to describe President Biden in a report released yesterday by Special Counsel Robert Hur. It was related to Biden's handling of classified documents. Now, he was not charged with the crime here, but the report painted a picture of a forgettable commander-in-chief who failed to properly protect highly sensitive and classified information here. NTD's Daniel Monahan has more on the findings and their aftermath.
The report found that Biden willfully retained classified information, including top-secret documents. But Special Counsel Hur wrote that nothing proved a willful intent by Biden to illegally hold on to classified information. Hur says Biden also won't be prosecuted because he would present to a jury as an elderly man with a poor memory. The report described the president's memory as hazy, fuzzy, faulty, poor, and having significant limitations. It noted that Biden could not recall defining milestones in his own life, such as when his son Beau died or when he served as vice president. Biden reacted to that depiction hours after the report's release.
There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business.
Biden sparred with reporters after his remarks.
President Biden, something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's totally out.
How bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad, I let you speak.
Mere minutes after vigorously defending his memory, Biden committed a gaffe, referring to the Egyptian president as the president of Mexico.
As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Syrskyi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
The classified documents found in Biden's Delaware home included some marked as the highest top-secret sensitive information level. Republican members of the House Judiciary Committee called Hur's decision not to prosecute Biden a double standard. Former President Trump was charged with crimes related to his own handling of classified information by Special Counsel Jack Smith. Hur noted in his report there were distinctions between the Trump and Biden cases, saying Trump was given multiple chances to return the documents and avoid prosecution, but did the opposite. Hur also wrote the former president allegedly obstructed justice by enlisting others to destroy evidence. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
All right, so what do we know so far about the classified documents found in Biden's office? Well, some were related to Ukraine and marked secret and confidential. In a folder, there was a telephone call sheet with talking points for a call with the previous Ukrainian prime minister back in 2015. And there was also a note requesting a transcript of the call. Biden served as vice president at the time, and there was also a confidential memo titled U.S. Energy Assistance to Ukraine. Now, Biden's son Hunter joined the board of directors of Ukrainian energy company Burisma Holdings in May 2014. President Biden then allegedly pressured Ukrainian officials to remove a prosecutor that was investigating Burisma Holdings. Former President Donald Trump won the Nevada caucuses with more than 99% of the vote. As such, he'll receive all 26 of the state's delegates at the GOP nominating convention in July. He was the only major candidate on the ballot. His competitor, Nikki Haley, participated in the state's primary instead and was disqualified from appearing on the GOP caucus ballot because of it. With his win in the U.S. Virgin Island caucuses, held at the same time, Trump has now won all 4 GOP contests he's stood in so far. Now, the former president received 74% of the vote in the territory, compared to Nikki Haley's 26%. That means he'll be awarded 4 more delegates. Shrugging off her loss, Haley plans to stay in the race. During a Los Angeles campaign rally, the former UN ambassador says she was in it for the long run. Now, the next contest between the two candidates will be in Haley's home state of South Carolina on February 24th. Trump thanked Nevada Republicans at his campaign's watch party in Las Vegas after being projected the winner. NTD's Kelly Wright was there. He spoke to Trump's surrogate, Jesus Marquez, on why the former president's message is resonating with the Hispanic community.
People, including Latinos, don't like what's going on in our country. We have an open border situation. We have inflation. Even though it's controlled, prices have not gone down. So the cost of living is still really high for Latinos. And in a community that is struggling economically, that resonates. That message resonates. You know, when you have high prices in rent, mortgage, to put food on the table. All those issues are affecting the American dream among Hispanics, among Latinos, and they're hurting. These people are coming across the border and taking resources from Latinos in this country. Most of the people that are coming across, 10,000 a day, are coming directly to live in communities, the Hispanic communities. And crime is on the rise. You saw what happened in New York, for example, and Latinos don't like that.
In other election news, Arizona is updating its policies ahead of the November general election. The goal is to make sure ballots are counted on time. State lawmakers overwhelmingly approved a bipartisan bill that would update election policies. In particular, it would move the primary from August 6th to July 30th. It would also require election offices to remain open the weekend after elections. Now, the goal is to make sure that an automatic recount wouldn't delay other election events. Arizona law requires automatic recounts when the margin of victory is within 0.5%. Under the previous rules, if there is a recount in November elections, Arizona might not be able to deliver results to the Electoral College by the December 11th deadline. A new congressional report estimates that the influx of illegal immigrants will force down wages in the U.S. Now, this comes as lawmakers in one state advance a bill that would extend government-funded health insurance to illegal immigrants. NTD's Arian Pazdar has an immigration update.
The Congressional Budget Office, or CBO, is releasing a budget outlook report for the next 10 years. The numbers estimate that the U.S. population will increase over the next decade due to immigration. This will take its toll on wages. The report states that average real wages are expected to be slightly lower by 2034 than they would be otherwise. Many say the report's most shocking part is that it expects government debt will rise by $19 trillion over the next decade to $54 trillion as a result. Now, this new report comes just as state senators in Virginia advance a healthcare bill for immigrants. The Cover All Kids Act would provide state-funded healthcare to all low-income immigrants under the age of 19. Now, a Republican state senator who opposed the bill reportedly said it would cost Virginia taxpayers $100 million just in this decade. Arian Pazdar, NTD News.
Texas is building its own border wall, and Governor Greg Abbott wants to see more of it happening. Now, the governor says Texas is on track to build more border wall than the former president, Donald Trump, did.
Texas is the first and only state in the history of the United States of America to build our own border wall. If you look at the amount of wall already constructed and the amount of wall that is going to be under construction, Texas will have built more of the Trump border wall than even Trump built in the state of Texas.
Texas approved over $1 billion last year to build barriers along its border with Mexico, which is 1,200 miles long. Now, the state has already built 160 miles of barriers other than the steel wall. That includes the razor wire fence, anti-climb barriers, shipping containers, and the buoys in the river. Abbott touted the success of Operation Lone Star, and he said, although Texas covers 2/3 of the U.S. southern border, less than 1/3 of the illegal border crossings happen in Texas in the past half year. Air travel regulation is getting a boost, with a U.S. Senate committee voting yesterday to boost safety inspector and air traffic controller staffing. Now, one move didn't get the okay from senators, a proposal to raise the airline pilot retirement age from 65 to 67. It comes after the House greenlit a sweeping air travel bill back in July, allowing the Federal Aviation Administrators to raise the pilot retirement age to 67. But the FAA said it would have to prefer to have additional research before Congress raised the age. Now, in most countries outside the U.S., current international rules block pilots older than 65 from flying. Age isn't an issue for a 50-year-old man who allegedly stole an aircraft in one part of California and crash-landed it on a beach in another part of the state. California police arrested a man who allegedly stole this small plane Thursday. Police say the unidentified 50-year-old was seen by witnesses walking away from the downed aircraft on a beach in Half Moon Bay, just south of San Francisco. Now, there were no reports of any injuries or noticeable damage. Police believe the plane was stolen from Palo Alto, California, some 24 miles away. The investigation into the case is ongoing. When we come back, Europe's renewable industry dependence on Chinese imports threatens manufacturers with bankruptcy, an issue that remains without any short-term solution. Good moods and bad moods affect our immune system, a psychologist explains. Companies are spending millions of dollars on just a 30-second advertisement during the Super Bowl. How do these ads capture our attention? A marketing professor explains. That and more after the break.
We all know that words have power.
They set things in motion
and make us happy or sad.
But there's one word that stands out because when people say it, lives are changed.
It's not a big word.
It's itsy bitsy.
It's only 3 little letters.
But when you say it,
the life of a kid like me can be changed.
So, what is this special word?
It may surprise you.
It's yes!
Yes.
Yes!
Yes to becoming a monthly supporter of Shriners Hospitals for Children.
That's right. Your monthly support allows the doctors and nurses at Shriners Hospitals for Children to give the most amazing care anywhere and change the lives of kids like me.
And me.
And me.
Because people like you have said yes. Now I can play football.
And I can play catch.
And I can walk.
So what do you say? Will you say yes right now?
It's so easy.
All you have to do is pick up the phone or go to loveshriners.org right now and say yes. When you say yes to giving just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a reminder of all the kids you're helping every day. My life is filled with possibility because of the monthly support of people just like you who called the number on your screen and said yes.
Yes.
Yes!
Yes!
Your yes is making a difference in my life and the lives of so many other kids like me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, call again or go to loveshriners.org to say yes right away.
Hi everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and
Welcome back. Europe's renewable industry manufacturers are paying a steep price for their dependence on Chinese imports. As Beijing decides to hold some of its exports, these EU companies are now threatening bankruptcy, despite government's green transition plans. NTD's France correspondent David Vivez speaks to energy policy experts who say the concern tops other issues that currently threaten the renewable industry.
According to German Economy Minister Robert Habeck, restricting Chinese imports in the EU could jeopardize Europe's rapid expansion of grid energy and make 90% of the photovoltaic market more expensive. While a surge in Chinese solar panel imports has sparked record solar energy installations, it also threatens the foundation of Europe's local solar manufacturing. This risked bankruptcies among EU companies that assemble and install solar panels using imported parts. According to energy policy expert and analyst Fabien Bouglet, this follows Beijing's decisions to withhold certain materials and technology.
We are witnessing a commercial war between Europe, seeking to retain certain solar panel and wind turbine manufacturers, and China, aiming for a monopoly. China strategically banned the export, not of rare earths or solar panel materials, but the technology used in their production.
The industry finds itself in a dilemma, with solar manufacturers proposing government intervention to address oversupply, while others in the broader green energy sector resist import restrictions.
What's happening with China is an aggravating factor, because in this supply chain problem, Europeans are going to have a hard time recovering the tools needed to build permanent magnets, which today are China's monopoly, knowing that China absolutely wants to recover the global wind turbine market.
This tops other issues striking the industry, notably wind power turbines, such as old components used in their fabrication. For example, Germany's leading wind turbine manufacturer Siemens Energy found itself being bailed out by the German government, is on the hook for 15 billion euros after a loss of 5 billion in 2023. The industry's troubles raise questions about the viability of Europe's green transition, Bouglet says.
This marks the resounding failure of the energy transition stemming from Germany's energy vendor. It signals the end of green energy transition, with the industry grappling with the consequences of 2 decades of anti-nuclear policies.
The German minister wrote a letter to the EU Commission urging it to find a solution. David Vives, NTD News, Paris.
A major streaming service is losing subscribers and money. More than 1 million global subscribers to Disney Plus have left the online streaming service. That's according to a report from the Walt Disney Company. The company's platform, which includes brands like Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic, lost some 1.3 million subscribers during the fourth quarter of 2023. Disney blames the loss on a substantial price increase it put into place during the same time last year. Now, one of the ways Disney Plus is looking to increase profits is by cracking down on subscriber password sharing, similar to what Netflix is implementing. The service will also be the exclusive home of Taylor Swift's Eras concert tour movie, which ran in theaters last October. A strong body makes for a strong mind, but that's not always a one-way street. NTD's Andrew Thomas spoke with a psychologist on how to understand how mood impacts our immune system.
Physical exercise is critical to improving mental health, but psychological well-being can have an equally important impact on our physical health. Psychologist Robert Hur's recent submission to the Epoch Times dives into the relationship.
So, Robert, what is the biological relationship between mood and our immune system?
We have these two systems in our body that control all of the regulatory factors in our system. Those are the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. You could think of it as your fight or flight response or your rest and digest response.
A bad mood triggers the fight or flight part of our nervous system. Over time, being in this biological state can have a negative impact on heart health and the immune system. Hur says both are primary factors that influence our overall physical well-being.
When we're experiencing negative states like stress or anger, it tips the scale in favor of fight or flight. And that's flooding your whole body with a lot of different chemicals and hormones that can actually suppress proper healthy functions in the body.
On the other hand, a good mood activates the rest and digestive part of our nervous system. Hur says research indicates a number of benefits from being in this state, including a stronger immune system and increased longevity.
Positive moods can actually induce the release of, for example, what we call endogenous opiates. And so opiates get a lot of bad press because, we're dealing with a drug pandemic, but your body's actually able to produce those chemicals that are synthetically put into drugs when people abuse them, because your body has its own way of making us feel good and helping us to respond to stress.
Hur adds that people need to be proactive about their health. He advocates a holistic approach.
Medicine isn't passive. So we like to think that if you just go to the doctor and you get your prescription filled, that's going to take care of everything. But I think what some of this work shows is that, there's an interaction between how we're living our lives and how we're keeping ourselves mentally healthy.
Hur recommends listening to comedy, journaling, and exercising to improve mood in the near term. He says research indicates the effects can help us live longer, healthier, and happier lives more quickly than we expect. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
The Super Bowl is right around the corner, but besides the game itself, companies are spending several $1 million on commercials. But have you ever wondered how these companies grab our attention in just 30 seconds? Here's NTD's Don Ma with some insight.
Super Bowl ads have a reputation of captivating audiences during the television broadcast of the event. Around 50-plus advertisers will compete for the attention of the anticipated 100 million-plus viewers tuning in. But how are these ads able to captivate viewers?
Since it's so expensive, it costs about $7 million per 30 seconds of air time. Because of that, the companies will want to put out there a very high quality and impactful advertising. That's the main reason why you see so much effectiveness for this advertising.
Companies capitalize on the event's exceptionally high viewership and broad demographic. They invest significant time and resources to ensure their advertisements stand out and leave a lasting impression on the people expected to watch the game. Federico Rossi is an associate professor of marketing at Purdue University. He explains yet another way the ads grab our attention.
But I think the main reason is they're funny, they are engaging, they are creating awareness really in a way that doesn't really, those commercials typically are sticking to your mind in a way that is different compared to other commercials that are also aired, in other for other events, let's say for other TV shows.
At this year's Super Bowl on Sunday, fans can expect celebrities and more light-hearted commercials along with glimpses of Taylor Swift. Fans can also expect corporate advertisers to avoid using the big game to promote social causes. Analysts say that brands that previously took stands on issues such as diversity and climate change are now acknowledging that anything seen as political while attempting to market products to consumers can be treacherous to navigate. Another effective trend emerging in commercials is celebrity casts. Soccer star Lionel Messi will appear in a commercial, and actor Christopher Walken is set to feature in a BMW ad. Meanwhile, action star Arnold Schwarzenegger is slated to appear in a commercial for State Farm Insurance.
So it really depends a lot on the personality, but also on the objective of the communication. Some communications might be, the objective of communication might be, for example, to talk about the functionality of a product, whereas others might be about awareness.
Ticket resale platform StubHub predicted it could end up as the most expensive Super Bowl ever, with the average ticket price sold around $8,600. Don Ma, NTD News.
Well, there's certainly a lot to look forward to this Sunday. Thank you for watching NTD Newsroom. Stay tuned for NTD Evening News with Tiffany Meyer at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. I'm Jack Bradley. Have a great weekend.